The Cowboys trade pick. Cowboys traded the pick to the Eagles.
Oh,
They're
what?
gonna get DeVonta Smith.
They
traded with the Eagles. The Eagles are on the clock.
Come on, get it now.
Gotta be DeVonta Smith, right? It's gotta be DeVonta.
It has to be.
If it's Queen K, I'm burning this shit down. Smith, they jumped the Giants to get DeVonta Smith. That's what I'm talking about. Big balls out. Big balls out. That's what I'm talking about. If it's not DeVonta Smith, I'm lighting everything up. Get ready to see a fire that you've never seen before. The Eagle select. Yeah. Yes! I'm happy! Yes! DeVonta Smith, one of my top 4 guys, I want it! Mother huffing balls! Harry balls! Yes! Joey, great pick!
Oh
Great
my
pick!
God!
Dallas still stinks. So before we start this video, I gotta talk about some Eagles breaking news that happened after I finished filming this while I was on another live stream, Rambling Rio. Shout out to him. Thanks for having me on the NFC East Roundtable. But I'm sitting there on the channel, and news breaks according to Jeff McClain, and I gotta talk about this. Jeff McClain is reporting that Arcega-Whiteside is moving from receiver to tight end according to an NFL source. With the Pound Eagles offseason program set to begin Monday, the former second rounder has embraced the transition to a new position. My thoughts are this. Why can't Howie Vision just accept when you screwed up a draft pick? You screwed it up. Can't we just cut our losses and move the Umbrella Man? Let the Umbrella Man go? But no, we're going to tell him to beef up, get bigger and slower, and maybe you could block a little better. Maybe you could block some linebackers and stuff now instead of some corners. I don't believe this is going to work. I don't believe this is a good transition. I think this is a waste of our time, but we'll find out. I don't like it. I just want to cut the guy and just move him on his way. You know, I want to cut our losses while I can. That's my opinion. Let me know your guys' opinion. Arcega-Whiteside moving to tight end. Get a bigger umbrella. Now, here's the video. You're my new way, King Dingbat here, so we are 1 week away. 1 week away from the draft. Man, I cannot wait. And if it's anything like the first round of last year's draft, it's going to be tremendous. It's going to be awesome. Now, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss any of the action. I will be streaming every minute of the draft again, as I did last year. Me and Joey Shake, shout out to him. You're not going to want to miss it, so make sure you're subscribed. And if you've been subscribed for a while, just double moonwalk check that you're still subscribed, because I don't know what is up with YouTube, but they keep unsubscribing people. It's just crazy. Now, in this video, I want to talk about a few things, right? A few possible scenarios. What is Howie Roseman thinking? What is he doing? Calculating the calculations of the cornbread. Because I gotta think he's got something up his sleeve, right? I have to. You can't have this team be as quiet as they have been in free agency, go into the draft and be really quiet. And when I say quiet, I mean sitting there at 15 and 18, just waiting for the pick to come, and then taking a guy, and then taking your next pick, and then being done. I got to think at some point, the Eagles have to be aggressive, right? If the plan is not to build for next year and to build for the future, you got to be aggressive, right? You have to come out with foundational pieces for this team. Now, when I look at what the Eagles are going to do, I would say this. I think the most unlikely scenario is that they remain at 15 and 18. I don't think they're going to do that. But let's say, just for argument's sake, that they stay at 15 and 18. I think you're looking at 2 defensive players, and I think you're going to see probably a defensive lineman, or probably a defensive tackle most likely, like Jordan Davis or Wyatt, one of those guys. And then I think you're going to see a corner with the 18th pick. And I think a guy like McDuffie obviously will be on their board, although I'm not really a big fan of his. I just think he's kind of small. I could be wrong about him. But Booth Jr. is somebody I am high on. Or Elam, I like those guys. Booth would be my 3rd best corner in this draft. I could see the Eagles take a defensive tackle and then a cornerback, okay? And then in the 2nd round, I think that the Eagles could take a wide receiver at that point. 3rd round, I think you could see a linebacker. Maybe, we'll see where Ojabo is. I think it's important that the Eagles come away with Ojabo, okay? I do, because I think David Ojabo, in a few years, could literally be the steal of this draft. He could be the steal of it. I think of Embiid, right? I think of Joel Embiid shooting the game winner, right? When the Sixers drafted Joel Embiid, and I wish I had my channel back when they were going through the process, because I was the biggest believer in what they were doing. To me, Sam Hinkie is a legend. He deserves to have a statue built, okay? He's in Philly 500's Hall of Fame. So I would have loved to have a channel them. But when Embiid got drafted by the Sixers, right? Well, right before they took him, right? There was a lot of talk about Embiid because Embiid broke his foot. He was supposed to go number 1 overall to Cleveland. He doesn't go, and he falls to the Sixers. And everybody was like, stay away from him, big man with a broken foot. You don't want to touch him. And I was saying, you got to take him. You have to take this guy, because if he develops into what he can develop, you're getting possibly a guy with Hakeem Olajuwon-like skill. And people thought I was crazy. But they did it, and they took him, and now you see the guy hitting game winners in big spots yesterday. MVP of the league, right? I look at David Ojabo similar, okay? I do, because I think he had, in my opinion, and I've said this before he got hurt, I thought he had the highest upside to be the best defensive lineman, maybe the best player in this draft. Like, I thought he had that much upside, but he was raw. He hadn't played a lot. He still had a lot to learn. It was going to take time. Much like Embiid when he came out into the NBA. And I feel like with Ojabo, it's very similar. And he's got a torn Achilles. So, if I'm the Eagles and I can draft him and, somehow figure out how to get him in the 2nd round, I'm going to do it, okay? Because I think David Ojabo can be that guy. Okay, so I don't know how they're going to figure this out and do it. Maybe you have to get a 2nd round pick somewhere. But, the scenario in which they get him 2nd or 3rd would be great. But I think that the least likely scenario is what I just said, where the Eagles stay at 15 and stay at 18. I don't think that's going to happen. What I think is going to happen, most likely in my opinion, the Eagles are going to trade up with the 15th pick. I think the Eagles are going to move up with the 15th pick. I think the Eagles are going to look to go up possibly as high as 6. Now, I was throwing out the 6th overall pick today in my live stream. Shout out to those who were with me watching. But I was saying that I think if the Eagles can get up to 6, they're going to do it. And can you imagine a perfect scenario where you have the Giants, let's say the Giants at 5 take an offensive lineman, and they think they're going to take Sauce Gardner, and he's still there. And all of a sudden the Eagles come back up and jump him and get Sauce Gardner? That would be tremendous. Oh, I would love to see the meltdowns by Giant fans. It would do nothing but make my heart swell. Denzel Washington would be very happy. But, I do think that the Eagles will try to go to 6 for 2 guys. Sauce Gardner and Kayvon Thibodeau. The reason I say it is the Eagles brought both those guys in to meet with them. Now, I know the Eagles don't think they're going up to 15. So the Eagles probably look at Sauce and Thibodeau, and they probably have a certain spot going, hey, if one of these 2 guys get to this spot, we're going to try to make a move up. And actually, Howie Roseman talked about this in his press conference, where the Eagles will actually call teams, kind of tell them what they're thinking, and have some sort of framework in place, for a deal if a certain guy falls. So I totally see that, right? Now, I think if Sauce Gardner or Thibodeau get to a certain point, it will trigger the Eagles to move up. Now, where's that at? I have to think it's 6. The Carolina Panthers need help. They need a lot of help in terms of picks. They need more picks. They need to trade back. That's what they want to do. So I think if the Eagles go up to 6, it's for either Thibodeau or Sauce. And if they don't, and those guys are going or they can't get up there, I think there's still some guys that they would like to trade up for, okay? I think they would trade up, and this wouldn't be as high. Maybe, if you can't get up to 6, maybe the next point you would go like 10, 11, 12, somewhere between 10 and 12, we'll say. I think there's certain guys that they would trade up for there. I think possibly Derek Stingley Jr. could be one. I think Jermaine Johnson could definitely be a guy the Eagles want to go up and get. I think Jordan Davis is a guy the Eagles might feel like they have to go up and get. So those 3 guys are guys that I think that the Eagles would go up for and try to get. Now, this is what I think the most likely scenario is. Them trading up. Most likely between 10 and 12 is what I'm thinking. But I think the Eagles are going to try to move up. Then I think what they're going to do is, with that 18th pick, I think the Eagles are going to look to move back. I think they're going to look back to late in the first round. They'll still pick possibly the first round, but I think they go back to 25, 26, 27, maybe 28. Maybe they pick up another second-round pick, right? Now, there's a guy that I really like at wide receiver late in the first round. I think it's a perfect natural fit for the Eagles. I've talked about him the last few days. George Pickens. I think he's a guy that could go late first, early second, who would be a great fit for the Eagles. I think just from what I've watched, I think he could fit perfectly with Devontae Smith on the opposite side. So he would be a guy who I could see the Eagles trading back, maybe picking up an extra pick, and then bang, bang, boom. You know what I mean? You take Pickens or something like that. Maybe you still take a defensive player. It very well could trade back and still go corner. Maybe Elam's on the board still. So I think the Eagles 15 are going up, and I think with 18 are going back. Now, it'll be interesting. But if they did that and they could pick up extra picks, maybe even an extra third or second or something, now Ojabo's in play. You see, so that's why I like it. That's what I want the Eagles to do. I want the Eagles to trade up with 15 and trade back with 18. But I do want to bring up one other scenario. Okay, and this is not Matt Corral. Although shout out to Easy Money because he's brainwashing me about Matt Corral. I keep watching Matt Corral stuff, and I'm starting to become a fan, dude. I'm starting to become a fan. This is getting crazy, but it's not about Corral. During my live stream today, shout out to Paul Mancini because he said something interesting, and he's got me thinking now. Right, I'm thinking about this all day. But he said in the chat, he left a comment. He said, there's a drop-off between players 1 through 12. So the top 12 players that are going to go in the draft. After that, between 13 and 50, 55, whatever he said it was, they're very similar. They're all ranked really very similarly. So he's saying there's not a lot of difference between 13 and 45, 50. Not as much as you would normally get. So if that's the case, right, and let's not even go top 50. Let's just say between 13 and 30, there's not a lot of difference. These guys are all kind of in the same pool, right? They're relatively close in talent. Why, if you're the Eagles, would you consider that? I'm just throwing this out there. Would you consider trading back, not just with your 18th pick, but with your 15th pick? So trade back with 15, trade back with 18. Like trade back multiple times and acquire multiple picks. If these guys are all that similar, and you can trade back and get multiple 2s, multiple 3s, even multiple 1s. Like, because I'm not saying you don't pick in the first round. You still can pick in the first round. You could go from 15 to 20 15 to 25, 18 to 28. You still pick first round talents. Get a couple second round picks extra. Maybe trade something for a first round pick next year so you have 3 first round picks again. Maybe maybe you have a couple twos and maybe Matt Corral's on the board and you take him at the second round. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kind of, maybe a little bit. I might be half kidding about Matt Corral, but I'm not kind of, because I'm starting to like the kid. Okay, guy's got an arm. But what I'm saying is, if Paul Mancini's hypothesis is true, that between 13 and, like, let's say 30, 35, they're all relatively same talent-wise, then why not trade back and get multiple picks and try to just get as much quantity as you can? Now, of course, the problem with this, and my issue would be that I don't trust the man making the pick. That's the problem. But if I could do something like that, I think you gotta keep an open mind about it. And I think Howie's going to be up to something. Like, I do not think this thing is going to be just, hey, guess what? The Eagles are sitting there and just taking whatever comes away. Now, Howie's gotta be scheming something. He's gotta have some sort of scheme or plan going, doesn't he? He just does. Anyways, that's my opinion. With that said, make sure you like, subscribe on the way out. Take care. I will talk to you later, and let me know in the comment section, what do you think? Is some of these scenarios possible? Which one do you think is most likely to happen? Take care. Talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat. And don't forget, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. This Matt Corral brainwashing's gotta stop. It's gotta stop. I can't stop watching Matt Corral videos. It's crazy. The guy's got a rocket arm. Boom, boom, boom. I can't stop. Dude, the Eagles take this guy if he's available in second round. Would I take him? I have no idea. I'm thinking about it. I might. Nah, I wouldn't. I might. Nah, I wouldn't. I might. Nah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I might. I think I might. I don't know what to do. I gotta go watch some more Matt Corral. Denzel Washington out.